Hello, good evening. Pressed a few wrong buttons then. Whoops. So it's Monday. We are going to be looking at our monthly make box. So we're going to be using our lovely little trees. We're going to be building a tree. That lovely. I can show you actually. Instead of just trying to describe it, I'll show you. They're all together. Maybe they're not. Oh yes, they are. There you go. Impressive. I've actually got the packaging for once. So we've got our little builder tree. If I move it that way, can you see it? There we go. Our autumn extended bits, just like that. And then finally we get our little autumn definitions. That's what's in the September box, and that's what we're going to be playing with tonight. It's only going to be a quick one because I've just realised that I've not sorted out what I'm wearing tomorrow, which could be a bit embarrassing if we don't sort that out by tomorrow morning. So it will be a quick one tonight, but hopefully just as much fun. So should we get going then? Right, let's see if I can press the right button this time. There we go. See, I get there in the end. Hi Zena over on YouTube. Good evening to you. Let's just do that one. Right, all ready to go. Yay, I think it's all working. So what I want to do is create one of my, it's got to be one of my favourite samples, or kind of recreate it even. Hi Tracy. One of my favourite samples that I did because I just had so much fun making it. So what have I got in front of me? I should really tell you. Ooh, I've got a dirty bit of card. Good job. We're going to be covering over it. I've got a 6x6 card, and then I've just got a slightly smaller, so it'll be like 5 3/4 inch square piece of card for our work. So that's what I'm going to be working on first. You can hear my computer whirling away, can't you? We'll get there. Right, let's get going. So what I want to do is create a bit of a, see actually if I can find, I'm having a quick route to the sample that I want to show you that we're going to do. Nope, it's not on the pile. Wonder why. It probably isn't. There it is. I wasn't looking properly. So this is the one. Yep, so you can see this lovely background. I love this background, and it works with any of our definitions, or any kind of rectangular or square. Well, no, more rectangle because you offset them. So it's a real good one for building up your backgrounds. So that's what we're going to be working towards. Hi Susan. Right, so let's get going. I want to create first that kind of like vintagey style background. Got loads of piles of ink in front of me. There we go. So I need to remember which one I was using. And I'm going to use a quick brush. Ooh, I'm already dropping things on the floor. Right, so I'm going to start off with my antique linen. So you want a bit of a dusky yellow for this. So scattered straw, antique linen. Old paper's a bit dark. But yeah, antique linen, scattered straw. Fossilised amber does work as well. It just looks a little bit more yellow. So I'm just grabbing my antique linen on my brush. Nothing complicated about what I'm going to do. Is I'm just going to put little bits on it. I'm not trying to blend it. You can see I'm wanting these like splodgy marks on it, and I'm also wanting it to look like it's going across. Yeah. Just like that. So I've got my antique linen. Whoops. I'm knocking my water bottles over now. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of, now this is where you've got to decide, am I going to go tea dye, or am I going for a little bit of bundle sage? I think I'm going to do tea dye tonight. Click on that one. Right, so I'm going to grab my tea dye. And we're just going to grab a little bit on here. So again, I'm just going to come in and add a little bit to it. So I've got white bits on here. I've got my, just used the antique linen. Hi Noella. These are just my autumn go-to ones. This could be done, like I say, you've got your scattered straws, you've got your different ones. Even a little bit of peel paint works, but only a tiny bit. Yep, so you can start to see where we're going with this. There we go, I can see now. Hi Susie! Right, I might actually, because it's sat in front of me, it's looking at me and it's going, why aren't you using me? I'm actually going to use a little bit of bundled sage as well. So I only want the teeniest, tiniest amount of bundled sage for this one. And this is our background virtually done. See, it picked up hardly any on here. Just add a little bit. Really emphasise those lines. And you could do this with your distress inks as well. It works just as well with your distress inks. It's just I was being lazy and I wanted to use a brush. So I've got my brushes out. And then I'm just going to grab my tea dye again because I didn't go around my edge. So now I'm quite happy with that. I'm just going to grab my tea dye and then just blend my edges a little bit. Or distress my edges is more what I'm doing, isn't it? You could do this with any, it works. You could use greys, so a bit of hickory smoke, a bit of pumice stone, and then put something like maybe walnut stain in there. That'd work as well. It doesn't look like much at the moment, I promise it will start to come together. It really will start to come together. There we go. So again, not looking like much, but it'll start to. So I'm just going to clean up my desk before I go much further, otherwise I end up with a really weird kitchen roller. See how much ended up on my desk? Right, so we're going to start work with this one. And we're going to use our autumn. I'm just going to pop that there, and I'm just going to grab, where's my kit? Oh, I've just thrown my kitchen roll away. I didn't mean to do that. This one. And what I want to do, I'm going to stamp with my tea dye. So I just want to make sure this is slightly, it's cleaner than what it looks, if that makes sense. You don't want a dirty stamp, because your oxide will pick up anything. There we go. Doesn't take much to clean it up, does it? Just give it another squirt to get rid of that kitchen roll. And then just because I'm going to be stamping into oxides, I need to make sure I dry it all off, because otherwise you end up with moisture in your, or damp in your inks, and you really don't like that one. When I've done that in the past, Noelle, and I was asking about whether there's something you can do to stop your oxides rubbing off onto other things in case you wanted to make it into something like a bookmark. What I've done in the past is I've actually sticky back plastic it. I don't think that's the best English, but you get the idea. Or you could use a glossy spray. The only problem with the glossy spray is I found them to be stickier. So you lose the problem of your inks coming away, but you get like a sticky residue on it, which then sticks to your book. So normally I would grab my sticky back plastic, and then also it stops things like your tea and coffee beans. You know, when you spill your tea and coffee on it, it doesn't affect it as much. Hi Mary from YouTube. So yeah, sticky back plastic would be my go-to. Some really nice like mass effects you can get with it. There you go. Glad I can help. it is one as well if you it's like you say bookmarks, but if you're creating like notebooks and things like that for people, it's a good one to put over the back. So little Bear and I sometimes make notebooks for our teachers at the end of the year, and it is a really good one for you just know it's not going to run, or it's not going to get damaged if they spill the coffee on it or something like that. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to start stamping this. Not stamping in the middle, just anywhere will do. But what I am doing is making sure that line across here is in line, so I don't want it going off. Oh, laminating, that's another good idea. I hadn't thought about that. That would mean I'd have to be let loose with a laminator though. Last time I used one of them didn't end very well. Mr. Roo's banned me from using ours. Anything needs laminating in this house, give it to Mr. Roo. Definitely don't leave me with a laminator. Because when they say this way in, definitely follow those arrows. So all I'm doing now is, you can see I've got a gap. Yeah, so I've stamped one, stamped another, and then in the gap between I'm stamping this one underneath, and then we'll stamp it above. I love this because you don't really need many inks to do this kind of effect. Like I say, you could use any colours really. Make it look like newspaper with your greys. Oh, hi Mum. Let's move it that way slightly. Running out of room on my desk again. So it's a lot tidier than it was about half hour ago. And it's not because everything fell off it. I actually put some inks away, I know, shock horror. So I'm just keep building this one up. Like I say, any of you can do this with any of your stamps really. I think it just gives you such a beautiful background. And because you're using the same colours as well, it stays in the background. If I suddenly started putting like black or a really dark brown, like if I went for sepia for example, then it'd really stand out and it wouldn't look part of the background. Whereas doing it in one of your darker shades that you've done your background in, it all just falls into place. Right. Am I going to get away with just doing one more? Put that one down there. And when I'm doing this, I'm trying to line these up and make sure it stays kind of straight across the top. I did say kind of straight. Okay, I think that should work. Can't believe I've not got bits and bobs falling off the top and bottom. Now, because it's oxide, we do need to clean our stamp. Get a quick spritz, because we might use this thing in a minute again. Wasn't very bright putting it down on what I already stamped. Hi Pauline. Right, so we've got a bit of a background there. My sleeves keep falling down. Driving me potty. Right, so now I'm going to grab my charcoal pencil because I don't want anything too... Again, if I use black, it'd really stand out. But we don't. This is our background. We want it to stay in the background. Yep. So I'm just going to take my charcoal pencil again, nothing complicated. We might want to dry it off in a minute. Actually, I'm going to dry it off now because my hands are going to be over the top of it. Where's my heat gun gone? That did drop off my desk earlier, I remember that bit. I'm just going to give that a quick flash and a heat gun. Ooh, a bit of tissue everywhere there. A quick blast. And the reason I do heat set when I use my Distress Oxide is it does tend to stay wet quite a while, but it also does give it a little bit more stability when it's hit with water. Not totally, it's not a permanent ink by any stretch of the imagination, but if you heat set it, if you whack your heat gun over it, it does tend to be a little bit more robust. Yep, right, so all I'm going to do, really technical I'm afraid, I'm just going to draw a bit of a wiggly line down between my 2 sentiments. And down this one too. There we go. That was better, wasn't it? I've got to admit, this is the bit where you always think, oh, I've got to draw a straight line now. It doesn't have to be. It can be a winky wonky line. We don't mind. I'm going to do another one here just because it looks like a big gap. Right. Not looking great at the moment. I'm going to grab another one here, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shading in, and then we'll split around this one. So because I've heat set it now, it's going to look a bit wonky wonky my paper. I'm going to put a little bit in here. I'm going a bit heavy-handed with my shading, but that's okay. Again, an ordinary pencil would work well if you've not got a charcoal one. And then we'll come down here. Shoop, -doopa. There we go. One more. Oh no, 2 more. And here. Yep. So it's looking like all these little articles put together. It's my theory anyway. So we're going to draw a line down here because we would have 2 more stamps, wouldn't we? We'd have one here and then one here. And then we're just going to add a little bit in to soften that corner. There we go. So that really is my background. Really, really simple one to do there. So now let's get our trees. I did say tonight's would be a really quick one, didn't I? And I'm playing with ink. So let's move them out of the way. I've got some. I've been sorting through me. Can you tell I've been sorting my inks for tomorrow? So they are I've got piles of inks. Makes all the difference, doesn't it? Being organised. For once, I can hear you all say. So I'm going to put that back in there because we're going to be using it. I think I might use it again. And then I'm going to grab Mr. Tree. Just pop that on there. Eek. It's well and truly stuck tonight. Sorry, Mr. Tree. He was going to sleep on me. Oh, we did this the other day, didn't I? Where's my big stamping block gone? Sorry, I'm not that organised. There with me. Oh, saying how organised I was. Oh, no. Get my lovely tree on there. You'll notice I've turned it round again. It's what is most comfortable for you stamping. Yep, so I've turned him round and we're just going to come and stamp our lovely, well, he could be a spooky tree, couldn't he, today? And just pop him there. So that's the easiest way for me to hold my stamping block. So I'm going to turn my paper around Make sure you give him a real good ink up. Oops. Got pins and needles, not pins and needles. Cramps starting in my finger then. Lots and lots of little. I just get paranoid about inking up a big solid stamp like this one. So I'm going to pop that down there. Just make sure it's nice and flat. Then we're just going to plonk him on here somewhere like that. It's that hovering, isn't it? That moment when you're hovering to find out where you're going to stamp it. Just give it a real good press. And that's also, I shouldn't really admit this, should I? That's why I like stamping in black as well. So if I've not inked it up properly, or I've not given it a good enough press down, I can always go in with my gel roll pen. And I'm making this twice as hard for myself because I'm going over oxide as well. Give it a bit of a lift. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. So imagine this done in oranges and purples with like spooky in the background. That could be quite cool, couldn't it? Right, so I've got my tree. He's looking a bit bare, he's looking a bit spooky, but we'll change that in a moment. You know I've got a thing about floating things, so I'm just going to give him a bit of grounding before we go any further. Just like that. And then, I should have done this before I did my doodle pen, but I think I've got bundled sage, that'll do. Now I should have done this before I did my doodle pen, because potentially I'm going to just move my doodle pen a bit. Try and see if I've got cotton bud as well. I think I'm going to have to nick a tub from the house. It's not in my pots. Oops. Let's have a quick look in you. Oh, I've run out of cotton buds. How rude. So to get in little bits like this, I like to use a cotton bud. I have found my red tape though. I didn't know that was hiding in that tub. It's amazing, isn't it, what you find when you're rooting. Nope, I'm going to use a little bit of tissue then. Using a cotton bud just gives you that little bit more control. It's a bit like using a pencil, isn't it? Just got a little bit more control over what you are. No, it's dirty. Right, I could use my paintbrush if it was dry. So let me just grab a dry bit of tissue. My brayer about to fall out of the pot there. And I'm just going to make a bit of a paper stub myself. There we go. Wasn't as bad as I thought. Just add a little bit in. Like I say, it would have been easier if I'd have done that before I did my doodling, but I forgot. Right, so we've done our tree. Let me put that one back over there. We're just going to build up our leaves. See, I said it was a really easy one tonight, didn't I? So all I'm going to do now, let me grab my little circle. Oh, that's not my little circle. I'll still use that one then. It's easier to pop your stamp on a smaller one than that big one I was using, isn't it? So we are going to, oops, press the wrong button again then, whoopsie. So we are going to now start stamping our leaves, and I'm sure by now we've all got our little favourites out of these ones, and I think you've figured out which one mine is. So mine, I like this one, I like this one as well, so they are my favourite ones. So what are we going to do on this one, do you think? I think we will go. I know what we're going to do. We're going to use this little one here with our green. Let's pop this on here. I've got an idea. Can you tell? It was one of those moments when I know what I'm going to do. So, yes, we're going to do it with this one. Did I use this one the other day though? I can't remember which one I used now. I did. I used this one the other day, so I'm not going to use this one. Well, I am, but I'm not going to use it in that way. I needed to clean that before I dropped it on my desk. Oops. Right. Sorry, went off at a tangent again, didn't I? I know which one I wanted to do. So I'm going to use the big one. I'm going to start off, I think Bundle Sage is what I'm using at the moment. But Peel Paint, kind of like your real earthy greens. Mowed Lawn would be good for like your summer ones, I think. Just trying to build this up. Just watch your finger. I nearly did it then. I nearly popped. Inky pinky bits everywhere. Right, nearly. So we've done our green. Just give that a quick wash. You're all really quiet again today. Unless I'm not getting comments then. Hi Claire. I am getting comments. So we've got our lovely leaves. And then just going to put that one on there. And I want a bit of, I think we're going to go to Rusty Hinge next. Oh, that doesn't sound good. You could always watch us over on YouTube. Just saying. Now we've got it sorted, yay. We like it when things start to come together, don't we? I think you're going to get sick of me building trees this month. I have to try and jazz it up a little bit. Sometimes you don't, I need to keep telling myself I don't need a leaf on every branch. Not every branch needs a leaf this time of year, does it? But that one definitely does. Oh, that sounds exciting, Pauline. Some new storage for a craft room. Mine definitely needs some new storage. Though I have put some boxes away today, which is a good start. Got some labels put away for once, which is always a good start. Because I've got a big delivery coming in soon. And that, oof, I don't even know where I'm going to start to put them. But we will. We'll find space for them because they're exciting. Take up even more space when they're made. So I have gone to Rusty Hinge for this one. Probably not the right colour scheme for what I fancy doing with this one. But spend ages doing this. Just get lost, don't you? Ooh, that bit needs a leaf. And there are some wonderful creations over in the group as well using this stamp set. So if you are stuck for inspiration using this one, go and head over to the group as well because there are some lovely ideas in there. We're going to do less is more on this one, I think so. Actually no, that one's bugging me. It's not quite, don't know if you can quite see. My leaf isn't quite touching my branch. Look, not good. So we're going to put an orange, a little, there we go. Now it's not driving me as crackers, but then that one wants one as well. There we go. Right. Like I say, you can get carried away, can't you, with this? I think that was my problem. Right, so what I want now is, I don't think I've got a colour on my desk, so I'm going to have to have a quick look. I'm going to put a couple of these in here so they look a bit like, you know, like what they call, like Atkins, or what's the tree and its seeds are like a little, you know what I mean, like a little chicken bone shape. Is it ash? Where they come down and they do that spinning thing, and then you drop them from a great height when you're a kid, so you can see them spin as they fall down to the ground. I think it's an ash tree, isn't it? No one of you lot will know. Is it ash? Could be birch. I know we've got one across the road, and they're great fun. You just find these little spinners everywhere. Oh, sycamore. There we go. I'll also Google it later. Could be sycamore. I'm not good with my trees. Right, I was looking for a colour once for that. I went off again. So, I want a bit, I wonder if yellow would do it. Antique linen, that will do it definitely. It's on my desk. Right, so let's grab my little one. And all I'm going to do, and they took for a slide down, but then, let me just check this is going to work. A bit of scrappy paper, that'll do. Yes, that'll look right, won't it? Look at those colours working together. Perfect. See, happy accident, it was on my desk. So all we're going to do is going to do a couple, just hanging down a few little, I think this is the smallest one, isn't it? Oh, there's a smaller one. There we go. As soon as I stamped it, I thought, no, that looks a bit big for what I was wanting to do. So the teeny tiny one. Yeah. It's not quite standing out enough. Maybe we should have used toffee. I'm just getting a little sycamore seeds. I think you're right there, Tracy, it is sycamore, isn't it? That sounds better than ash. They always just seem to droop, don't they, ever so slightly? But they get everywhere. And they're so much fun. Right. I think if I hold that up, I think that's enough, isn't it? I don't want to quite overdo it. Right, so we've got that done. I'm now thinking if we did it in nice pale greens and use these in purple, you could get is it wisteria? One of those type of trees. The ones that have loads of purple hanging down and set your hay fever off really bad. One of those ones. Right, quite happy with that. Let me see if I've got a bit of scrappy paper now. I did have, what did I do with it? There. Right, so I think I'm going to use that autumn saying again on here. Actually, I think the corners would look quite nice from the new one tomorrow. But I'll stick with it. I'm going to be good. I'm going to stick with my monthly make, because it is monthly make Monday, isn't it? So, now, decision time. If I just plonk that on top of there, it's going to stand out. It really is, isn't it? It's going to be like, well, the only sayings I can think of are inappropriate. So you get what I mean. It's going to stand really out. So what we're going to do is we're just going to tone it back a little bit as well. So what did we use? We used a little bit of antique linen. Now if you were thinking about it, you'd have done this all in one go at the beginning. But I like things to evolve. Again, I'm not doing fancy blending or anything like that. I'm just whacking it on with my brush. I think sometimes we do overthink it when we come to blending, don't we? This is not one of them, and that's not the brush I wanted to use. I want for browns. So that was antique linen, and I'm going back to my tea dye as well. So just a few little bits from my tea dye. Then this time, absolutely, I'm going to stamp this in black because it's going to be my saying, it's my greeting. Yeah, just give it a real good ink up. Make sure you get all those lovely little letters on there. And then I don't want to leave much of a border at all on this because I know we're going to be tight for space. Let's just give that a quick stamp. There we go. Take a little trimmer. Okay, make sure you've got hardly any border on this one. Oh, sorry, that's my tummy rumbling. Got grumbly tumbly. Thought you were shouting me then, Claire. Oi! Yeah, do you like this definition one? It is. I think it is. It's good for building those backgrounds. It is just a lovely, lovely one for building your backgrounds up. See, it's going to sit there just like that. But at the moment, that looks a bit naffed on it. So let's just get it with my heat gun first. I should get my peg. My peg's sat right looking at me. Last thing I want to do now is put my tea dye around the edge and smudge all my lovely saying. So just very gently, not too much, but just enough. Used to be saying something like that, didn't there? Not sure what I've done to my ink pad. It's got like a weird speckle to it. Just keep going around, building it up. Might even add a little bit of doodling to this in a moment. I haven't really left myself much, so instead of doodling, you can see it's starting to look like it's meant to be there now, whereas when we had that piece of white card, I've just thrown a little scrap in the bin, so let's see if I can find it. There we go. Yeah, looks completely wrong. Yeah, it jumps out far too much, whereas just by knocking it back with a little bit of antique linen and our tea dye, fits in, all tones in neatly together. Sometimes you want it to jump out, absolutely, but this, definitely not the card for that. So we've got that there. Now what did I want to do? I wanted to grab my charcoal pen again. I'm just going to add a little bit. Because I've not given myself enough space to do any doodling, because space is limited in this bottom corner here, I'm just adding, you know, my shading I'd normally put around my doodle box. I'm just adding it to this. She says, there we go. It didn't want to move off the edge. You start to see we're popping that on there. And I don't think I want brown, I think I want a black border, or a really dark brown. So just let me have a quick reach in my drawer. A little bit of, see, look at that, real chocolatey brown. That works, doesn't it? Just grab that one. I do love aged mahogany. I think it just, on that tree, it just really pops, doesn't it? we'll pop that on there. I want the teeniest, tiniest of borders. Because again, space is at a premium down here. Oh, that's a tough card, that. Didn't have my shreddies this morning, obviously. There we go. I got through it in the end. So we've got our lovely little sentiment. So that will go on there like so. Might just need trimming down a bit. Oh, that could be a nice combo as well. So I can't say it, right, persimmon, you know, the orange you want, with seedless preserve. That does sound quite a nice combo. There we go. I do quite like that. Now on this one, you can see completely different look to it, isn't it? So on this one, I think I just stuck to, oh, I used old paper, but I can't find it today. But you get a different feel to it, don't you? Because I've gone heavy-handed with me tea dye. But two completely different looks. And I've gone a lot more heavy-handed with my leaves, whereas these are a lot, I think actually this is distress ink, not oxide. That'll be the difference as well. Yeah, so I could just pop a couple of little leaves cut out here. Would look quite nice. But I do. No, I'm not going to sit and cut out leaves. I quite like them. That one's definitely ink. Now I've looked at it closer, I definitely did that in ink. I'm getting forgetful in my old age. But yeah, definitely done that one in ink, whereas this one is done in oxide. So it still works. Just get a completely different feel, don't you, to it? Right. So, I think that's it for tonight, isn't it? We could, actually, she says that, and you know me, I'm sat looking at it going, hang on a minute. You know, if we just go in with our doodle pen a little bit. You can't not, can you? It's like the rules, I've got to doodle. I'm not going over my leaves. There we go. Yeah, it needed a little bit of doodling. There we go. Right, I'm happy with that now. I've doodled. It felt wrong, I hadn't picked up a doodle pen apart from that little bit. Oof. Never do, will it? So, hope you've enjoyed that one. It was a quick one for tonight. I've lost my mouse, hang on. Oh, it's coming back. There we go. So I will get the hang of this one day. So that is it from me tonight. We are back on the craft store tomorrow at 1 o'clock with the lovely Paola. So I hope you can join me for that. We've got our lovely new leaf. It's all leafy, isn't it, this month? So we've got our leaves, our wreaths, our corners, all those beautiful big leaves. I'm trying to think if we could somehow use them with our monthly make, because that'd be quite cool as well. Oh, thank you. A timer set, Pauline, absolutely. Yeah, 1 o'clock, not 3 o'clock like I keep telling people. It's definitely 1 o'clock tomorrow on the craft store. So I hope you can join me, or if not, set your timer like Pauline's doing, and hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. I've got 3 demos prepped. Well, when I put my inks in, I've got 3 demos prepped. 3 demos prepped using the leaves, the poly plates, and the wreath. Got some really simple ones, and then some quite well, they're all really simple because they are really simple images to work with. So hopefully you'll have fun and you'll enjoy those tomorrow. So that's tomorrow, 1 o'clock, over on the craft store. So thank you as always for joining me. Thank you for watching. And Claire's just said don't forget a polymount. Actually, I haven't forgotten it because I've already stuck my stamp on it, so I don't forget it, because I've got a bit of a track record of doing that. Not that I ever forget anything. I think last time I forgot my guillotine, so that needs to go in my box as well. It'll be fine. We can always do something else, can't we? Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you'll join me tomorrow, and I will see you. Oh, when are we back? We're back here on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So I will see you if not tomorrow, I will see you on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Thank you for joining us. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye for now.